Imagine a world where time has truly stopped. A place where the only thing that moves is the slow, inevitable settling of cosmic dust. It has been 19,300 days since a human heart last beat on the surface of the moon. 19,300 days of absolute, deafening silence. Since the final splashdown of Apollo 17 in December 1972, the lunar graveyard has been left undisturbed, abandoned, as if we were suddenly too tired to dream. An entire generation of humanity has been born, has grown old, and has begun to fade away, all while our greatest achievement turned into a blurry, monochromatic memory. We call this new mission Artemis, a return to glory. But do not be deceived. This is not a march toward the future. It is a desperate, frantic excavation of a triumph that we have nearly forgotten how to achieve. The titans of the Apollo era, the engineers who breathed life into the Saturn V, they are mostly gone now. Their brilliant minds have returned to the Earth, and their blueprints, once the maps to the heavens, are now nothing more than yellowing relics, dissolving in the acid of time. We are not going back to the moon to conquer it. We are going back to see if we still have the will to survive it. 4 souls, 4 fragile, breathing human beings are about to strap themselves into a metal cage the size of 2 minivans. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. They have named their vessel Integrity. But out there, in the cold, suffocating reach of the deep, Integrity is just a drifting time capsule. A lonely spark trying to find its way through a dark, forgotten museum of ancient craters. They are the first to witness the ruins of our own ambition. And as the clock strikes 0, remember, they are not just leaving home. They are chasing a ghost that has been waiting for them in the dark for 53 long years. From a distance, the Orion capsule looks like a masterpiece, a shimmering silver icon of human ingenuity. But do not be fooled. Out there, in the cold, heartless vacuum, it is nothing more than a fragile metallic eggshell, hiding a terrifying, ugly secret. During the first uncrewed flight of Artemis in 2022, the world cheered as the capsule splashed down. Everything looked perfect on the surface. But when the engineers finally touched the metal, when they peeled back the layers of the heat shield, they found a nightmare. Over 100 locations where the protective material, a resin called avcot, had simply shattered. It was not the smooth, controlled erosion they had promised us. It was a jagged, unpredictable, violent loss of material. Pieces of the shield had broken off in chunks, leaving deep, melted gouges where there should have been a solid barrier. The very shield, designed to be our only salvation, had been betrayed by the heat. And here is the brutal, unforgiving truth. For Artemis II, they did not redesign it. They did not fix the material. Instead, the architects of this mission have made a dark, desperate bargain. They have changed the path. To save the shield, they are forcing the crew to gamble with their own fragile biology. Orion will not skip across the atmosphere like a stone on water to bleed off speed. No. It will dive steeper and faster than any human craft in history. It will hit the top of the sky at 40,000 kilometers per hour. That is 32 times the speed of sound. At that velocity, the air molecules in front of the capsule will be compressed so violently that they turn into a sheath of superheated plasma, reaching 2,760 degrees Celsius. That is half the temperature of the sun. Inside, the 4 astronauts will feel the weight of their own mortality. A crushing, invisible hand will press them into their seats with 3, 4, 5 times the force of gravity. Their lungs will struggle to expand. Their vision will blur as they scream through a tunnel of white-hot fire. A few inches of cracked resin is all that stands between 4 lives and total instant incineration. They're betting everything on a material that has already failed. This is not a flight. It is an execution of a plan where the margin for error has been ground down to 0. 4 adults, 4 breathing, sweating, fragile bodies squeezed into a tomb of aluminum and resin. NASA likes to use the image of 2 minivans, but do not let that domestic comparison fool you. In those 330 cubic feet, there is no room for dignity. There is no room for the future. There is only the crushing reality of the present. In this metal pipe, there is no door to close except for the one over the toilet, a space the size of a coat closet. Imagine living for 10 long days where your waste is vented into the void or sealed in bags just inches from where you eat and sleep. This is the true face of deep space exploration. It is not sleek. It is not clean. It is a slow, messy, biological erosion. But the walls are not the real prison. The real threat is invisible. As integrity crosses the threshold, leaving the protective, nurturing cocoon of Earth's magnetic field, the very rules of physics change. Galactic cosmic rays and solar energetic particles begin their relentless, silent assault. These are not just rays, they are subatomic bullets traveling at near light speed, punching through the metal hull, through the thermal insulation, and through the delicate strands of DNA inside the crew's cells. Every hour they spend in the dark, they are being erased at a genetic level. If a solar storm erupts while they are hovering over the lunar far side, there is no escape. Their only hope is to hunker down, to hide in the small shielded area near the bathroom and pray that the water tanks and the equipment absorb enough of the radiation before it delivers a lethal dose. They are huddling in a closet 230,000 miles from home, waiting for a storm of fire that they cannot even see. And then there is the horsework. The European service module, bolted to Orion's back. It is the only thing keeping them from the vacuum. But do not think of it as a miracle of engineering. Think of it as a battery that began to die the second it was turned on. Every puff of the maneuvering engines, every watt of electricity drawn from those 4 solar wings is a withdrawal from a bank account that will never be refilled. There is no recycling here. There is no rescue. The solar arrays, those 4 wings of glass and gold, are being sandblasted by microscopic space dust every second. Their efficiency is dropping minute by minute. The oxygen tanks are bleeding, gasping into the cabin. They are breathing a stale, recycled atmosphere, scrubbed of poison by fans that never stop humming. That constant mechanical whir is the sound of a machine fighting a losing battle against the entropy of the deep. By the time they reach the far side of the moon, the Earth will be nothing more than a pale blue dot, small enough to be covered by a single outstretched thumb. Everyone who ever lived, every war, every love, every empire obscured by a fingertip. Out here, in the shadow of the craters, the 4 of them are the loneliest ghosts in the galaxy. They are not just explorers. They are captives of a machine that is slowly but surely unraveling in the cold, dead silence of a lunar graveyard. Imagine for a moment that you are Christina Koch, staring out of that small, thick window at the lunar far side. You see the craters, the jagged, gray, ancient desolation. It feels eternal. But now, let us press the button. Let us accelerate time. Fast forward 100 years. The Artemis missions are now just a footnote in a digital history book that few people ever open. The lunar gateway, if we ever manage to build it, is a tumbling, darkened, skeletal ruin. A metal ghost, stripped of its pride by the relentless sandblasting of the solar wind. The electronics are fried. The integrity name on the hull is a rusted, illegible scar. Fast forward 10,000 years. The sun, that glorious, terrifying engine of fire, has finished its work. Every photograph the crew took, every digital bite of their smiles, every pixel of the Earth has been bleached white by relentless ultraviolet radiation. The flags, the markers, even the nylon fabric of the suits left on the surface have turned to a fine, colorless powder and vanished into the gray dust. Fast forward 1,000,000 years. The moon is a cruel, patient eraser. The micrometeoroids, those tiny, invisible bullets of stone, have acted like cosmic sandpaper. They have ground down the surface, inch by inch. The footprints? Gone. The lunar regolith has been churned and flipped until every trace of a human boot, every vibration of a human voice has been swallowed by the silence. The moon does not care about our ambition. It does not remember our names. It has seen the rise and the slow, agonizing fall of 1,000 empires in the mere blink of a cosmic eye. In this distant future, Artemis II is not a triumph. It is not even a memory. It is a whisper that was lost before it could ever be heard. The craters remain, cold, dead, and indifferent, as if we were never truly there. The universe is reclaiming its solitude, 1,000,000 years at a time. And yet, despite the cracked shield, despite the suffocating radioactive silence, they are coming home. As the Orion capsule plunges through the final layers of the sky, 3 massive parachutes, orange and white, will bloom against the dying light of the sun like flowers in a desert of salt. This is the moment, the final, beautiful, desperate act of defiance. We must ask ourselves, why? Why send 4 fragile, breathing souls into a machine that has already shown its scars? Why gamble with the heat of 1,000 suns just to touch a world that will eventually erase every trace of us? The answer is not found in a textbook. It is found in the museum of our existence. Artemis II is not about conquest. It is not about flags or footprints or geopolitical pride. It is a funeral ceremony for our own fear. We are a species that knows with absolute certainty that our time is limited. We know that our stars will fade, our planets will crumble, and our names will be lost to the great, devouring entropy of the universe. But for 10 glorious, terrifying days, these 4 humans will be the witnesses. They will see the far side of the moon, a sight denied to every living soul for 53 years. They will look at the Earth, that tiny, lonely, flickering blue candle in the dark, and they will understand how precious, how impossible it is to exist at all. Their legacy is not the metal they leave behind. It is the fact that they went. It is the privilege of a dying species looking into the abyss and refusing to look away. As they bob in the swells of the Pacific, their legs weak, their balance gone, they will breathe the salt air, and they will know that they have opened a door. Not the door to the future, but the door to our own, fading, human spirit. We go to the moon not because it is safe. We go because the clock is ticking. And out there in the dark, the only thing more powerful than the silence is the courage to be heard one last time.